School Freeware's Word 2007 tutorials. Tutorial 2. Formatting text. Working with text is very simple, and before I start going into some of the text here, I'd like to point out that it can be a little overwhelming taking a look at all these commands here on the ribbon. But if you know one, you typically know quite a number of them. Because, for example, here, we have bold. Well, if you know bold, you know how to make the text italic. You know how to make the text underline. You know how to put a strike through, make a superscript and a subscript. If you know how to change the font, you know how to change the font size. You also know how to grow and shrink the font. So many of these commands that you're looking at are actually very similar to each other, and it's not very difficult to work with. Also, by positioning the mouse over the commands, like for example this font, a little helper pops up. It tells me here what it is, and it also tells me the keyboard shortcut. In this case, the font is Control-Shift-F. Some commands don't have a keyboard shortcut, and we'll have another tutorial available to you that'll show you how to create custom keyboard shortcuts. So with that said, let's get started. There are a couple ways of dealing with text. First of all, before you start typing, you change the formatting of the text, and I can change the font. I'll just put, let's say, Algerian. I'll change the font size to 22. I'll make it bold, and I'll just go ahead and make it red. And here's the text all set for me. Now, I can also highlight the text that's already in there, and I can make it bold. I can make it italic, put an underline, change the underline type. I can change the font size. I can grow the font. I can shrink the font. Pretty simple to do. All I have to do is highlight the text and it's in. Now, I have more text selections available to me in the font dialog box. So if I click on this font dialog box button, up comes the font, and I usually have in these dialog boxes everything that you see here in the section can be found within the dialog box. So here's the font, here's the font style, size, font color, underline style, underline color, everything that I typically find in there, plus more. So right now here I don't have a double strike through up here in the selection, but I do have one in the dialog box. So if I want to do double strike through, all I have to do is click the box, click OK, and you see that the text now is double strike through. I can change this around a little bit more. I can make it emboss, take the double strike through out, and I can adjust the size, let's say to 28. And there's emboss, size 28 text, no problem. Continuing to work with some text here, I can highlight some text. I'll just highlight this one that says this is some text to move, and I can click and hold once it's highlighted, and I can move it wherever I want in the document. Once I let go of the mouse, the text drops into the location where I had told it to drop. I can also highlight the text. I can go and cut removes the text. Click here with the insertion point. I can paste the text where the insertion point is, and the text now is pasted into this area. I can highlight the text again, and by copying, I make a copy and it leaves the original text alone, so when I paste, there's the copy of the text wherever I told it to paste into. A couple other things about pasting. Let's say for example here I have on this document some text to copy. I can highlight the text, I can copy the text, and then I could go back to the next document. Now if I just click on paste, I get all this formatting. If I don't want the original formatting of the text, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to undo here to remove what I just copied in. I can go to this little down arrow here, and I could go to Paste Special. And under Paste Special, I have things like formatting, rich text formatting. I have unformatted text. I have Microsoft Word document, HTML, whatever it is. So formatting just like the rest of the document here, like this text here, I'll just use unformatting text and I'll click OK. And now this is some text the copy is placed in there with the formatting that was in this document. So it went from this type of formatting to this formatting that was in this document here, which is Cabaret 18. The last thing that I would like to show you here is the Format Painter, and this can save you a lot of time and stress. Let's say, for example, here we have this type of formatting for the title, and this is the title for page 1, and we have the same formatting for page 2, the same formatting for page 3, same formatting for page 4 and 5. Now let's say, for example, the boss comes in and says, hey, we need to change the formatting for the title. We have to make it left justified. We have to make the size 36. It has to be underlined with a solid underline, and the font color has to be, let's say, blue. Also, maybe make it Times New Roman. Okay, so there's Times New Roman, all set. Now, instead of having to go through and highlight each one individually and adjusting the font formatting, what you can do is you can use the Format Painter. So I'll put the insertion point right here, so it's blinking right there on part of what I want to take the formatting of this text. So all I have to do now is click on the Format Painter and highlight the text that I want to copy the format to. So now the title for page 2 is the same as the title for page 1 as far as formatting is concerned. So now I can just go to page 3, click on the Format Painter, boom, go to page 4, click on the Format Painter, very simple. Page 5, click on the Format Painter, and now all of the pages here have the exact same format for their title as page 1. So that way I don't have to worry about making mistakes and having different formatting throughout the document.